Okay, the shir is dedicated in memory of Rachel Leah Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. May her neshama have an aliyah. We're up to page 30 in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch in the Mitzuda edition, chapter 6, Siman Vav, Seif Vav, paragraph number 6. Just by means of introduction, the Torah tells us that if one has accidentally transgressed a particular commandment whose intentional violation would entail, heaven forbid, kares, being cut off in this world and the world to come. For example, for somebody who knows better, intentionally transgressing Shabbos, or idolatry, etc., etc. So one who accidentally would do the same would have to bring what's known as a karban chatas, a sin offering in the Beis HaMikdash, in the temple. If, however, one is not sure, one may have violated a Torah commandment whose intentional violation would entail kares, so then the Torah also has a karban, not a karban chatas, but what's known as an asham tolui, a contingent sin offering. Maybe I did the sin, maybe I didn't. It's only a safek, it's only a doubt. Nonetheless, even though it's only a doubt, even though it's only a safek, one is not positive they committed the sin. The classic case being where one has a piece of meat and one's not sure whether it's chaylev, whether the meat contains the prohibited fats from the backside of the animal, or whether the fat is just shuman, is permissible fat, not necessarily healthy fat, but permissible fat. Under those circumstances, if one would eat the chaylev intentionally, the punishment would be kares. One would eat the chaylev accidentally, not knowing that chaylev is prohibited, not knowing that this piece of meat is chaylev, so it contains chaylev. So then one would have to bring a karban chatas. If one, however, eats what might be a piece of chaylev accidentally, that's not realizing that it might be chaylev, and it's not, and even now we're not sure that it's from the prohibited fats. So the halacha is that Torah dictates that one bring a karban asham tolui. Fortunately, today we don't yet have karbanos. We don't engage in the sacrificial service. Nonetheless, what we do see from this law is that even in a case of doubt, even if a person has not absolutely committed a sin, it's only maybe, there still might be some degree of responsibility, of culpability. In a similar vein, there is a discussion among the authorities, beginning with the Gemara, through the Shulchan Aruch, that addresses exactly how to deal with a case of doubt, a case of safek, regarding a mitzvah or regarding a prohibition, in Aveira, in Isser. Just as we see from the Chumash that you see that a safek is not 100% benign. You see that there is some degree of liability. So to explain the commentaries, it's in this vein that we find the rabbis laying down very specific rules governing the cases of doubt. Generally, the rule is as follows: safek deoraisa lechumra. In a case where the mitzvah or sin in question is of Torah origin, such as a person is not sure, is this esrog kosher on the first day of Sukkot, or isn't this esrog kosher? So when in doubt, one would have to pick up the esrog a second time. In as much as the arba minim, the 4 species on the first day of Sukkot, are Torah mandated, so in case of doubt, one would have to be stringent, one would have to err on the side of caution. However, say the Chachamim, as is recorded in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Code of Jewish Law, in many, many places, in the case of a rabbinic precept, be it a mitzvah or be it for that matter a prohibition, so here the rule generally is safek derabanan lekula. I'm not sure whether I had to light Hanukkah candles, I'm not sure, or a case where I know I had to light, but I'm just a little forgetful. I forgot whether whether I lit or not. So, inasmuch as the lighting of Hanukkah candles is only a rabbinic requirement, when in doubt, one has the right to be lenient. One need not err on the side of caution and light candles for what might be a second time. It should be noted that even, however, when the issue in question is only of rabbinic nature, so if one wants to be stringent, I mean, you're not sure, were the Hanukkah candles long enough? Did they count? Now, a candle should ideally be long enough to burn for at least 30 minutes, 35 minutes after it gets dark, and you're not sure, were they long enough? So in that case, well, you wouldn't, strictly speaking, safek d'Rabbanan l'kula, you're not required to relight candles, or what might be effectively lighting for the first time if the